Welcome back, everybody. It's Primetime Action Sports. Slater Thomas to my right, Presley Thomas right here speaking. It's been a while. We have a lot of catching up to do, whether it's NFL, NBA on the horizon, MLB playoffs starting yesterday. We got a lot to talk about, but right now,
we're going to decide on whether the Cowboys are pretenders or are they contenders.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going to go with it, but I want to hear what you want to say first, so I'll let you go first to see what you want to say.
Okay, so the topic is going to be whether or not the Dallas Cowboys are contenders or pretenders. I'm going to give you just a couple little notes before I tell you what I think. I give all respect to Kellen Moore and the offense, which has been going great the first 3 games of the season until that Sunday night game against the Saints. They looked great. Okay, the offense was clicking. Dak looked like an MVP kind of guy.
From the 25. Little play action. Prescott wide open. Catch is made. Amari Cooper.
He's already gotten a couple hits on Prescott.
They fake it to Pollard. Pass is floated. Touchdown, Jarwin. Blitz coming. Buffet. Gallup. What a throw. Prescott had one-on-one. Goes to Cooper for the touchdown against the rookie Baker. Prescott down the middle has Cooper. Another big play.
Just terrible coverage there by the New York Giants.
Over the middle. Here he is again. This time it's Cobb. Absolutely wide open.
Then you go to New Orleans, and I don't know what the hell happened there. I don't know if Kellen Moore was told to step back, like, hey, we're going to run it more, and Jason Garrett took the reins again.
Prescott fires, contested and incomplete. Trying to get it to Amari Cooper. Offensively, Prescott throws over the middle, and Witten fumbles and loses it. A.J. Klein knocks it away. It's picked up by Von Bell, and the ball is still alive. Took that timeout, so they have one, but they're going to go for it. Indeed they are, and it's going to be close, but he's going to get it. Elliott, looked like the ball was ready to come out.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
The ruling on the field stands. It is a fumble. It is a turnover. Terry, it's as close as it can get. Prescott fires, and that's broken up on a 3rd and 2. Prescott looked toward Elliott and throws incomplete.
Safety in the middle, they back out.
Back out, 4-man rush, and Prescott's going to get sacked. Prescott, one last prayer. Not answered. Marcus Williams with the pick.
But that did not look good at all. Let me just read the first 3 games of the season. I'm not going to tell you the scores. I'm just going to tell you the opponent. Week 1, the Giants, led by Eli Manning. Might be a different story with Daniel Jones. Easy win, right? Week 2, Washington, giving up the 3rd most passing yards. Okay, Washington. And then finally, Week 3.
It's a divisional game.
Yeah, okay. All right. Fair enough. Week 3, Miami, which we all know how Miami is doing. And then they lost 10-12 to the Saints. And Amari Cooper was basically a no-show, getting 9 targets. Ezekiel Elliott had a critical fumble on 4th and 1. He had less than 40 yards for sure. They barely got away with that 1 touchdown on the goal line. Dak had barely anything. So, you look at this and you think, okay, they had 3 games that are fairly easy. Green Bay's coming to town. Rodgers is probably going to put up points, and Rodgers always kind of have their number. I think this is the game where the Cowboys and Dak need to show, like, hey, we actually are legit. And just kind of a note, they haven't ever made it past the divisional round since 1995. That's when they won the Super Bowl. Granted, in the NFC East, where you got the Washington Redskins, Giants, and Philly, they have the most division titles, which is 23. They obviously have 5 Super Bowls. But since 2000, whether it's Roma at quarterback, Bledsoe for a little bit, Kinta, Dak, or all the other backups that filled in for Romo, they only have 5 division titles. Only 5, and let's just round up to 2020 in 15 years. That's not looking too good. And on that, and saying those things, I'm going to say that I like what they're doing. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going to be great. They're going to make playoffs, but I'm calling them a pretender. They're not a Super Bowl favorite. They'll get to the divisional round where they always get, at best, obviously, NFC Championship. But you put that team against...
So are they contenders or are they pretenders?
They're pretenders. I'm saying
they're going to make the divisional round?
No, I'm saying they're going to make the playoffs because that division's garbage. Carson Wentz ain't doing thing. Washington, who knows?
They beat Green Bay on Thursday night.
Okay. Yeah.
Green Bay's a predicted first seed from you.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just telling you that I don't think going into the playoffs that they won't make it. They won't represent the NFC. 100%. You got the Rams, like you said. You got the Packers. You got
Todd
Chicago.
Gurley, 15 yards rushing.
Okay. Well,
Chase Daniel leading the Bears.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying they're not gonna beat those teams in the playoffs. There's no way in hell. Unless they have home field advantage, the number 1 seed. Maybe there's a chance. But I'm calling them, saying they're a contender. They'll make playoffs. I'm telling you, they're gonna represent the NFC East like they have the last couple of years. But they will not. They will not, I guarantee you, will not get past their divisional round. That's going to haunt them. I think there's a lot better teams at NFC. And right now, after that kind of loss, they got to prove something to me. I have them as a pretender.
Are you done?
I know, I'm done. Yeah,
okay.
For now.
Yeah. Well, based off you saying that, we'll start from last year where the Cowboys, they started off 3-5.
Correct.
They won the 7 of their last 8. 3 of those wins, including 2 against the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, the Philadelphia Eagles weren't the 13-3 team they were the year before that, but they were still the defending Super Bowl champions, and they still had a solid team. And then one of those wins coming against the Saints, ending their 10-game win streak. Dak Prescott last year in those 7 out of 8 games, in those last 8 games, Dak Prescott led the league in completions. Ezekiel Elliott, he's the rushing leader. The offense, they're putting up points. And as far as their offense goes, they rank 8th in points per game at 26.8, 3rd in yards per game at 425.2, 5th in passing yards and 5th in rushing yards. So they're virtually top 10 in everything, top 5 in mostly all the categories. Dak's only been sacked 3 times.
Really?
This year. And then as far as Sunday night went against the Saints, Michael Gallup, their number 2 receiver's out. Amari Cooper, he had an MRI on his ankle on the same foot that he had this plantar fasciitis, which kept him out of the entire preseason. And as far as their defense goes, I've been saying it since last year that their defense is extremely underrated. Their defense is 3rd in points allowed per game. Dak Prescott this year has 9 touchdowns, 3 picks. And you know Amari Cooper too, since he has an MRI on his ankle. You know what he's capable of. Some of the cleanest routes in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best. I wouldn't put him ahead of guys like Keenan Allen or certain other guys. Stephon Diggs runs some clean routes, but Amari Cooper is up there. And you know how good he is too, considering you drafted him in the second round of our fantasy football draft. So that means you must have had confidence in Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper in the Cowboys offense. They held a
little stab at me, okay.
They held Alvin Kamara to 69 yards rushing on 17 attempts, which isn't easy, considering Alvin Kamara, he's a bruiser, he's a downhill runner, and as far as what he can do in the backfield too, he can catch passes. They didn't hold Michael Thomas in check, but he held him under 100 yards. They held the Saints, and they were playing in New Orleans, which is one of the toughest places to play. So I feel like just because they lost, their defense was banged up. Awuzie, he got hurt. Tyron Smith, their starting left tackle on the forefront of their offensive line, had a high ankle sprain in that game. I don't think it's fair to say that the Cowboys are pretenders because they played a tough game in a tough place on prime time against a good team. The Saints last week went into Seattle and dominated Seattle. So I don't see the point in saying why they're pretenders. I feel like they have a strong chance to represent the NFC. I feel like when Amari Cooper gets healthier and Michael Gallup comes off of IR, or when he comes back, from being injured, I feel like the offense is going to start to get rolling a little bit more, and against those bigger teams like the Saints and Green Bay next week, they'll be able to produce points when it matters. And as far as Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, you know what Ezekiel Elliott's capable of. Dak Prescott last year, 22 touchdowns, 8 picks. It's very similar stats to what he had his rookie year when they went 13-3, and Zeke led the league in rushing that year as well. So, I mean, you can't really and he threw 3,800 yards or something like that last year. I had it written down. I can't find it, but you can't say that Dak Prescott is not capable just because he doesn't throw for over 4,000 yards. He has the league leading rusher, so 67.7 completion percentage. He leads the league in QBR, like I said, ahead of Patrick Mahomes. So I think they're for real this year. So
all right, well, so you have them as contenders. So what I think, I'm gonna kind of get back at you with about this is
the Saints. They are good, and Amari Cooper was held in check from Marshawn Lattimore. We saw Marshawn Lattimore that we saw his rookie year, who won Defensive Rookie of the Year that year.
Yeah.
We saw him, but he was covering an injured Amari Cooper, who in tight man-to-man coverage, and the offensive line was just getting dominated by the Saints' front four. So I just feel like it was a tough game in a tough environment, and I think the Cowboys are going to represent the NFC in this year's. I think they're going to represent the NFC.
So ball in your hand, you're on the away game. It's January playoff football. I'm just saying, can you list quarterbacks you'd rather have the ball in their hand than Dak Prescott? Let's be realistic. Like, who would actually make playoffs? Like the Goff, Trubisky when healthy.
I think Jared Goff's overrated.
Well,
I think Jared Goff's overrated. We saw it last year in the Super Bowl.
No, I know, but
when they can't run the football, what good is it? Like, he's got weapons, yeah, but when you take those weapons away and Todd Gurley can't, when he's rushing the ball 5 times for 16 yards, and the defense is allowing 55 points, I don't think the Rams are going to be contenders. I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs this year. They're definitely not going to be able to beat the Patriots.
Okay, but we're focused on the NFC, okay? I'm saying ball in your hand, you're in the way. Say you're in Lambeau, you got, obviously you rather have Rodgers than anybody, but you got, like the Goffs, you got the Trubiskys,
he couldn't punch it in from the 1 yard line.
Drew Brees, you've got, the Wentz maybe if they. I'm just saying, there's a lot of quarterbacks that I think that are a lot better than Dak. Does Dak not get the credit he deserves? Oh yeah, of course.
He leads the league in QBR.
Yeah, okay. Giants, Washington, Miami, like the bottom bottom 3 of the bottom 5 at least. Those 3 teams are there. They played the Saints, who are actually up there. Yes, their defense was good. Lattimore's pressed up. They forced, and it was so predictable what they were doing because first down, let's run it 2 yards. Let's run it 1 negative yard. Second down, and it was like just chuck it up deep for Cooper or Cobb or whatever. And then third down, it was a screen. Like, it was so predictable to watch. And if they play that kind of ball going forward, these last 12 games, they're not going to get anywhere. If they can play how they play against those 3 crappy teams where they're, giving Dak the ball, they're getting creative, like throwing screens at Pollard or Elliott or little screens at Cooper or whatever it is, and letting Dak run with his feet, then yeah, of course they're going to be a lot better. But if they play like how they did on Sunday night, and granted it is only 1 game, they're going to stick in my pretender category. They're going to be my Carolina Panthers of last year. I'm going to have them the pretender category until I see more.
We saw Aaron Rodgers, since we're going from quarterbacks in the NFC, we saw Aaron Rodgers last week on Thursday night. He couldn't punch it in 2 times with inside the 5 yard line without Devontae Adams. He was hurt. He went out with turf toe. So you take, like I said, Amari Cooper was injured. You have Devontae Adams, the number 1 receiver. He's injured. And then let's say their number 2 receiver. Who's the number 2 receiver for the Packers? Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Let's take him out of the picture. Let's add a couple years on Jimmy Graham, and let's have their O-line, their starting captain, get injured with a high ankle sprain. Let's see how well Aaron Rodgers is going to perform. I mean, you take away a number 2 receiver. What if Keenan Allen went out with Keenan Allen had a MRI on Monday on that ankle and had plantar fasciitis on that foot the rest of the preseason, and then you take the number 2 receiver, you take him out of the game.
Yeah, I have a number 2 wide receiver.
Exactly, but say Mike Williams out, Keenan Allen hurt. What are the Chargers gonna do?
Do what Rivers does best: make nobodies out of somebody. Make somebodies out of nobody. Sorry, but I know what you're saying. So I'm gonna keep them in the pretender category. We'll touch base on this maybe after this week. We're getting our pickups again, and all that. Do you want? I'm just saying. I'm just saying though. They haven't made it out of the divisional round since '95. You weren't even born yet.
This year.
Hey, that's what Cowboys fans always believe, right? Who dat?
That's the Saints saying, but
I know that's what I'm saying. Who dat?
The Saints got a lot of work to do without Drew Brees with these next couple of weeks coming up. They've been playing well. The Packers, they got a lot to prove after losing at home in primetime against the Eagles. The Eagles look really, really good. They look like the team that everyone thought they would be. I picked them to win personally, so there's no surprise to me there. But I think a lot of people are discrediting the performance of the Cowboys on Sunday night just because they weren't as explosive as they were, but I think they're real contenders this year in the NFC.
We'll get back to it, right? Is there anything
next week? Packers versus Green Bay. We're gonna see
Packers versus Green Bay. You mean Packers versus Cowboys?
Packers versus Cowboys. Sorry, we're gonna really see. I mean, we're not gonna see a full healthy Cowboys team and a full healthy Green Bay team.
Adams ain't even gonna play.
He might play, but if not, then I feel like it'll play out later into the season or in the playoffs. We'll see those two teams come together again, and hopefully Aaron Rodgers doesn't go down the field and leads one of those game-winning drives like he has the past two
Cowboys
times.
numbers.
Yep.
Well, we'll leave it at that. Is there anything else you want to predict or say anything? Bold predictions for the Cowboys-Packers game before we get into our pick'ems and quick takes?
Cowboys are going to win.
All right. Okay. I like it. I have the Packers winning, so that's our first Oh, and just to clear the air. Actually, we'll clear the air when we get into it, pick'ems. Any other topics you want to talk about? All right. Thanks, guys. We'll be back in a sec to get back to our usual show.